Welcome to the Wind Up with Will. I'm your host, Will, here, and today we're going to be talking about the FIFA World Cup final between Argentina and Spain. We're going to be going over who I think is going to win that game, as well as recapping the tournament so far, really recapping the knockout stages, because my last video I did a prediction for the knockout stages, so we're going to be recapping what's actually happened. And the World Cup final starts in about 40 minutes, so I've got a short amount of time to go through this and get the video out. So without further ado, let's go on and jump in. So, in the round of 32, we had Paraguay beat Germany in penalty kicks. It was a blow to me because I picked Germany to reach the final. So that was unfortunate for me. France beat Sweden 3-0. I should mention Paraguay and Germany was 1-1, and then Paraguay won in penalty kicks. France won 3-0 over Sweden. Canada beat South Africa 1-0. Morocco and Netherlands tied 1-1, and Morocco won in penalty kicks. I was disappointed in that because I went and saw the Netherlands play, so I was kind of pulling for them to go on a run in the tournament. Portugal beat Croatia 2-1 and what was a great comeback. Spain handled Austria 3-0. The USA beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0, going down to 10 men. I was very happy about that game. I felt like we were on top of the world. That was a little short-lived, but we'll get to that in a second. Belgium beat Senegal 3-2. Brazil beat Japan 2-1. Norway beat Ivory Coast 2-1, or Cote d'Ivoire, however you prefer. I think it's the American English. We call it Ivory Coast. Mexico beat Ecuador 2-0, and just like I predicted, all three of the hosts would win their first knockout game. I thought the home field advantage would go to each of the host nations. England beats the Congo 2-1. Argentina beats Cape Verde 3-2. That was kind of a lot closer game than people thought it would be. Egypt beat Australia in penalties. They were tied 1-1. Switzerland beat Algeria 2-0, and Colombia beat Ghana 1-0. So moving on to the round of 16, we then had Paraguay and France play one another. France won that game 1-0. Morocco then beat host nation Canada 3-0. Spain and their neighboring country Portugal faced off. Spain won that game 1-0, ending Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup aspirations, and it being his final World Cup at the age of 40. I think he's 41. So this is probably his last World Cup. Unfortunate that he didn't go further or ever win it, but what a international career he's had. Then, unfortunately, USA and Belgium faced each other, and I say unfortunately because the United States, my country, if you're watching, probably your country as well, we lost 4-1 to Belgium. I'm boycotting Belgian waffles now. That was an unfortunate game because really high off the Bosnia game, Balogun got a yellow card or got red carded in the Bosnia game, and so he was thought to he was going to have to set out this game, but due to the Federation and I think Trump and some lawyers speaking on the behalf of the U.S., they were able to get FIFA to lift the ban, which, mind you, FIFA has done for like 4 or 5 other players in this tournament, including like Ronaldo, who would have missed the first 2 games in this tournament if they didn't lift his ban. Messi had a similar play to Balogun that wasn't red carded, wasn't reviewed or anything. And based off of the rule, supposedly, you're not supposed to give a red card in that situation anyway. So FIFA lifted the red card and got rid of the ban. So I think, and supposedly that might have lit a fire under Belgium that we got to kind of, bend FIFA's arm or be like, give our player back. And we got our star striker back in Balogun. And I think that lit some of a fire underneath Belgium, and they were playing very inspirational and inspired, and Team USA did not look good in that game. They were just very flat and not aggressive like they'd been in the previous games where they just attack. In this game, it looked like they were almost scared to play Belgium. I don't know if it's because it was such a big moment or a big game, or, the stuff to do with Balogun is a distraction, which of course players denied that, but who knows? Unfortunately, we lost 4-1. It was 1-0, and then we got a free kick, and Malik Freeman put it in. Game tied 1-1. I believe it was it a free kick? Yes, yeah, it was a free kick. For some reason, I was beginning to think it was a penalty, but it was a free kick just outside the box that he hits, gets deflected by a Belgium defender, goes in. We tie the game 1-1, and when that happened, I was like, this is a brand new game. We're right back in it. We've got a chance to win this. We've got a chance to go to the quarterfinals. And like 60 seconds later, Belgium scores to go back ahead, and I just felt like, man, that just took the wind out of the sails. I don't know if we'll win this. We end up losing 4-1. Very unfortunate, but great World Cup for Team USA. I think this is something to build upon, and I think it really shows the level of that people care about soccer in this country. So excited to see where Team USA goes from here, and hopefully we can build off of this World Cup. And supposedly we might get to host the World Cup again in 2038. There's rumors we might bid on that. Moving on in the tournament, I just want to talk about that because it's Team USA. Well, moving on, Norway versus Brazil. Norway won 2-1. I actually picked this. I didn't pick the score, but I said Norway would win. Having Erling Haaland, one of the best players in the world, I think gives them the clear advantage over Brazil, who is a good team, but they're not. Neymar is not the player that he once was. They're not the soccer nation that they once were. Well, their national team is not the national team that it once was. And so I gave the advantage to Norway, and Norway did win 2-1. Mexico-England was a great game. England won that game 3-2. They had to survive like over 30 minutes being down a man with only 10 men. I watched the end of the game. I was watching fireworks because it was the day after 4th of July. Came home, watched the end of the game, and England just put on a phenomenal defense, just trying to deny Mexico every chance. And I kept thinking Mexico was going to tie it. Great game. I feel kind of bad for Mexico. They have gone so long without making it to the quarterfinals, and being a host nation, they feel like this is our chance to get back to the quarterfinals, which is the last time they made the quarterfinals. They were a host back in '86, but England denies them that. So unfortunate for them. But I picked England to win this game. I picked England to win the whole World Cup. So I was excited to see them win. Argentina beat Egypt 3-2. There was controversy in this game over a goal from Egypt being taken away due to VAR, saying there was a foul 80 yards back that started the play that led to the goal. It seems very. People would maybe say the word rigged, but to me, I would say it's very not what VAR should be used for. And we see this critique not only with VAR throughout soccer, but also replay in general here in American sports with like the NHL, the NFL, MLB currently, NBA. There's a lot of questions over what should replay really be used for, and we see a lot of great plays that are unfortunately taken away. So unfortunate that took a goal away from Egypt. That would have put them up 3-0. Argentina comes back and wins the game 3-2. Switzerland, then they tied Colombia 0-0 in regulation and beat them in penalty kicks to advance to move on to the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals, we had France beat Morocco 2-0. We had Spain avenge the USA 2-1 against Belgium. And then we had England beat Norway 2-1. That was a great game. I watched that. I was kind of back and forth on who to pull for. I picked England to win the whole thing. But I really like Erling Haaland, so I was kind of pulling for Norway to go far. Then we had Argentina beat Switzerland 3-1 to reach the semis, which gave us some really like blue blood soccer nations in the semifinals with France versus Spain and England versus Argentina. I thought this was going to be, I was worried we would have a rematch. I did not want a rematch of the previous World Cup. You want different nations there, but we didn't get a rematch. Spain beat France 2-0. France and Spain, pretty much the whole tournament, looked like they were two, if not the two best teams in this. And Spain gets the better of France, winning 2-0 to advance to the final, trying to get their second World Cup championship. And Argentina beat England 2-1. This was a phenomenal game, having watched it in full. I expected England to. I thought England would win this. I picked England to win the whole thing, so I was kind of pulling for them. When they got up 1-0, they looked really good in the first half, and I was expecting them, they were going to continue. But in the second half, it was like they're just going to play back. We're going to park the bus, and we're going to prevent Argentina from scoring. And that worked against Mexico when you're down a man and it's just desperation mode. But a full half of that against Argentina, who has arguably the best player to ever play in the sport, and Lionel Messi, does not work. And it didn't work. And Messi had 2 assists. One of the go ahead goal was scored in the 92nd minute. And I just don't know what England was doing. Just trying to play all defense. They should have kept pressing. They should have kept attacking. And they let it get away from them. Argentina comes back to win 2-1. It just seems almost a team of destiny for them to get back here. They've had so many close wins, so many comeback wins, and they've reached the final again. It's them versus Spain. I'm sorry, one of my lights here just keeps flickering, so if you see that, I apologize. So we have a rematch in the World Cup. Not a rematch, but we have Argentina going for back-to-back titles in the World Cup final. Them, Argentina versus Spain, today at 2 o'clock Central Time. That's in 30 minutes. Last night yesterday afternoon, we had the third place match between France and England, and this would have been an epic final if these two teams faced each other because of just the history between France and England, all the wars they fought against one another, the wars they fought together, side by side. This would have been, and there is somewhat of a rivalry there, this would have been an epic game if this was the final. This would probably be viewed as the greatest World Cup final of ever if this was the final. England won the game 6-4 over France. This was just an incredible game. Saka for England had a hat trick. He got his third goal on a penalty in the 87th minute to kind of put the game away, put them up 5-3. At that point, it felt like the game was put away. Then France scored to make it 5-4 to be back in it. And then Bellingham in the 98th minute scored kind of a breakaway goal to go up 6-4 to finally put the game to rest. This game was insane. England was up 4-0 at halftime, and it felt like it was their game to lose, and it was like they ran themselves out. France just came storming back, and all of a sudden we had a game. And it was super exciting. That's the craziest soccer game I've ever watched. That would have been an epic final if that had been the final. But we've got what I think will be a great matchup in the final. I should also mention in that game, Mbappe scored 2 goals for France, which puts him in the lead for the Golden Boot race. And I believe 11 on so far in the tournament. I think he's at 11 goals. Sorry, 10 goals. 10 goals this tournament. It's the most in the tournament, so he's in the Golden Boot race. He's 2 ahead of Messi, who's playing today. Those 2 goals put him as the all-time leading scorer in goals in World Cup history with 21, I believe, and Messi is setting at 20. Or is it 22? I forget. It's 20 or 20. I think it's 21. He's the all-time lead with 21. Messi's at 20, I think. No, I have it backwards. Mbappe, I believe, is at 22 career World Cup goals, and Messi's at 21. So Messi with 1 goal would tie again the all-time record. With 2 goals, he would tie for the Golden Boot race in this tournament. I think he is going to have a phenomenal World Cup final game, but we're going to get into that. So my pick for the Argentina and Spain World Cup final, I'm picking Argentina to win this game 3-2. Messi with a hat trick, 3 goals to give him the Golden Boot lead by himself and to retake the all-time scoring lead in the World Cup over Mbappe. And this would be just a feather in his cap to go out as back-to-back World Cup champion, the all-time leading scorer in World Cup history, played the most games all-time in the World Cup. This is and really just cement his legacy as the greatest soccer player of all time. I think he's going to win. It's funny enough that the best player for Spain, Lamine Yamal, actually met Messi as a little kid. There's a photo of when Messi was with Barcelona that Yamal's parents won some kind of raffle contest and got to have their little baby boy take pictures with Messi, which to me is hilarious that this is a thing. Like they're like people are claiming that it's fake, but it's real. It's actually real. It actually happened. So it's kind of like a passing of the torch of this great player, and you have this like 19-year-old that is the other great player for Spain. They're meeting the World Cup final. It's just an awesome moment in soccer, and there is a chance that Spain wins this, and that the passing of the baton to the next generation of Yamal could happen here. But my pick is for Messi to go out a champion. I think Argentina wins 3-2. Messi wins the Golden Boot. He is the player of the tournament. That is my prediction. That's what I think. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who's going to win the World Cup final? What have your thoughts been on the U.S. hosting the World Cup this year? And do you think Messi is going to win the Golden Boot? Let me know and your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.